guys, welcome to the Body and Soul Shop. Today we're going to put the scallops on the custom truck, and I taped it off, wet sanded, taped it off and everything yesterday, and it was quite a challenge. Normally I use a blue fine line, which I really like this stuff, 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch, and I did use some of this, but it's so dark and so close to the color on the truck, it was very difficult to differentiate between the two. So I went to the older school kind of whitish green stuff. I also use like a micrometer in a lot of places just to kind of figure out, keep it consistent from one side to the other. When I was laying out the stripes, the scallops and stuff, I also used these little tweezers to get up in the tight corners and stuff to kind of hold the tape as I was pressing it in. It was kind of tough. Of course, you need a razor blade, final clean rag, final wash, and some gloves. So I've already final washed it, so I'm going to put my gloves on, my mask, and we'll just put 2 or 3 coats on this of the white, and then Chase is going to come in later today and put the gold pinstriping around it, and then probably tomorrow or the next day, probably the next day, I will come back and clear coat over it. So, all right, so let's get to it. Okay, we're done. We'll give this a little while, and then I'll start untaping it. Let that cure out. I still got a spot in, my little spot over here where I broke through yesterday. That's just very minor. It won't take long to do that. I'm just going to blend it and clear coat over everything when it's all done. Hey guys, welcome back. I want to give you a little update. I've been wet sanding on the body of the custom truck, and last night I painted the belt line the white, and Chase is coming in the morning to do the pinstriping on it to highlight it. Here we go. Clean up the edge just a little bit. That'll come right off. So we'll have like an 1/8 inch gold pinstripe on the top and on the bottom. Like I said, that it bled through just a little bit right down here. I'll clean that off, no problem. So I started out using dark blue fine line tape, and I was really having a difficult time seeing the difference between the tape and the paint. It was so close to color, so I switched over to the kind of the whitish greenish fine line. I normally don't use that a whole lot, but at least I could see a little bit better with that. So anyway, we'll clean this bleed through off. Chase will come in and fine line that and pull a gold stripe on it. So it's not a bad idea when you're doing something like this to use a micrometer. I used it on the doors and the quarter and the cowl section to measure that out and get it as tight as I can. And then once the gold pinstripe's on there, it should be dead on the money. So if you get something like that where it's just a little bit of bleed through, no big deal. This has got clear coat on it, and that's base coat. I can just take a little bit of thinner and a Q-tip and just pull it, and it'll come right off. Okay guys, so there's some wet sand residue on the truck yet that'll have to be all washed down and everything. And of course we will clean it with final wash before we do any clearing or anything on it. We'll repaper all the inside of the bed because it's got so much stuff on it now. We want nice clean paper when we get ready to clear. So Chase has been out here this week and spent quite a bit of time on this thing, pinstriping it. And he's really, I love the way they just fade into nothing down here at the points. Really turned out good. And originally I was thinking just 3 little red pinstripes, and the more we talked about it, Chase come up with this idea to kind of make them boomerang looking, kind of, and I love it. So when that chrome bezel and the taillight's in here and this thing is cleared, it's going to come alive, guys. It'll look like another taillight there. It'll be pretty cool. We got another surprise up our sleeves, but I'm not ready to show you yet, but it will go along with this right here. So here's a little taste of what I was talking about, the fine line being so dark blue. You can kind of see it here a little bit, but when you're trying to lay that blue against this blue, everything, it gets kind of difficult to see. So I'm going to pull this fine line off. Yeah, I got a little bit of bleed through here, a couple places, but that'll come, like I said before, it'll come right off. It's no problem. The radiator shell comes to a point just like this does, so it'll kind of pull together with the motor in between. It'll be kind of a nice contrast between the two. When you're doing something like this, it's real easy to get too gaudy or not have enough on it. So I really struggled with whether to put the white on the belt line or not. I wasn't sure. But the more I started looking at the whole picture up here in my head, it started making sense. So that's why I went ahead and did it. But that was one of the last things I decided to do. It just took me a while to really nail it down and say, yeah, I'm going to do it. So anyway, I really like how this white's going to come together with the radiator shell and all the other scallops and stuff on it. It's all just going to be just right, I think. I don't think it's going to be too much, and I don't think it's going to be not enough. So I know you guys haven't seen the coves yet. This is how we did them. We whitened and pinstriped it. I still got to clear it. Back in here is going to be gold screen. I've got some really cool microphone screen that they make microphones out of down in Nashville, and so it'll have gold screen back in here, so there'll just be little pops of gold here and there. I think that's really coming out good. Okay, so the whole inside of this thing is going to be white rolling pleat. Like I said, we're using 65 Thunderbird seats. It'll be totally redone and everything, and I just think all the white with the rolling pleat, old school in here. We're going to have blue carpet, blue seat belts, blue steering wheel. Other than that, everything will be white. So originally one of my thoughts was to highlight these lines with like one red stripe and one blue stripe. But the more Chase and I looked at it, I'm like, you know what, this is a pretty bold statement. And I think if we put color on it, it's going to make it look cheap. And I don't want to look cheap. So we're going to leave it rich white like that. I think it's going to really make a statement when it's all said and done. So guys, I know that there's a lot of tough things going on in our world right now today. Thanksgiving will be our 1-year anniversary for the Body and Soul Shop on YouTube, and we just want to thank you, every one of you, for watching, for liking, for commenting, all that you do. We really appreciate it. So let's be mindful. You know, there's a lot of people out there less fortunate than we are, and some of us aren't very fortunate. But you know, just remember, do good anytime you get a chance. Help somebody out, and let's keep this world going in the right direction. Get it turned around and heading in the right way. Happy Thanksgiving from the Body and Soul Shop. God bless you, and we'll see you real soon.